Khelot Ghosh's house was a big mansion, but it looked deserted. As the master entered the house, he fell into an ecstatic mood. M, Ramlal, and a few other devotees were with him. Their host was Khelot Ghosh's brother-in-law. He was an old man, a Vaishnava. His body was stamped with the name of God, according to the Vaishnava custom, and he carried in his hand a small bag containing his rosary. He had visited the master now and then at Dakshineshwar. But most of the Vaishnavas held narrow religious views. They criticized the Vedantists and the followers of the Shiva cult. Sri Ramakrishna soon began to speak. Master, it is not good to feel that one's own religion alone is true and all others are false. God is one only, and not two. Different people call on Him by different names, some as Allah, some as God, and others as Krishna, Shiva, and Brahman. It is like the water in a lake. Some drink it at one place and call it jal. Others at another place call it pani. And still others at a third place call it water. The Hindus call it jal, the Christians water, and the Musalmans pani. But it is one and the same thing. Opinions are but paths. Each religion is only a path leading to God. As rivers come from different directions and ultimately become one in the one ocean. The truth established in the Vedas, the Puranas, and the Tantras is but one Satchidananda. In the Vedas, it is called Brahman. In the Puranas, it is called Krishna, Rama, and so on. And in the Tantras, it is called Shiva. The one Satchidananda is called Brahman, Krishna, and Shiva. The devotees were silent. A Vaishnava devotee. Sir, why should one think of God at all? Master, if a man really has that knowledge, then he is indeed liberated, though living in a body. Footnote: the knowledge that God exists within and without and everywhere. In that case, thinking of God is superfluous. Footnote ends. Not all, by any means, believe in God. They simply talk. The worldly minded have heard from someone that God exists and that everything happens by His will. But it is not their inner belief. Do you know what a worldly man's idea of God is like? It is like the children's swearing by God when they quarrel. They have heard the word while listening to their elderly aunts quarreling. Is it possible for all to comprehend God? God has created the good and the bad, the devoted and the impious, the faithful and the skeptical. The wonders that we see all exist in His creation. In one place, there is more manifestation of His power, in another less. The sun's light is better reflected by water than by earth, and still better by a mirror. Again, there are different levels among the devotees of God: superior, mediocre, and inferior. All this has been described in the Gita. Vaishnava: true sir. Master: the inferior devotee says, God exists, but He is very far off, up there in heaven. The mediocre devotee says, God exists in all beings as life and consciousness. The superior devotee says, it is God Himself who has become everything. Whatever I see is only a form of God. It is He alone who has become Maya, the universe, and all living beings. Nothing exists but God. Vaishnava: does anyone ever attain that state of mind? Master: one cannot attain it unless one has seen God. But there are signs that a man has had the vision of God. A man who has seen God sometimes behaves like a madman. He laughs, weeps, dances, and sings. Sometimes he behaves like a child 5 years old, guileless, generous, without vanity, unattached to anything, not under the control of any of the gunas, always blissful. Sometimes he behaves like a ghoul. He doesn't differentiate between things pure and things impure. He sees no difference between things clean and things unclean. And sometimes he is like an inert thing, staring vacantly. He cannot do any work. He cannot strive for anything. Was the master making a veiled reference to his own states of mind? Master, to the Vaishnava devotee: the feeling of thee and thine is the outcome of knowledge. I and mine comes from ignorance. Knowledge makes one feel, O God, Thou art the doer, and I am Thy instrument. O God, to Thee belongs all: body, mind, house, family, living beings, and the universe. All these are Thine. Nothing belongs to me. An ignorant person says, "Oh, God is there, very far off." The man of knowledge knows that God is right here, very near, in the heart, that He has assumed all forms and dwells in all hearts as their inner controller.